Real reason Robyn Brown didn't let Cristin watch her kids. The Brown family's dynamic has dramatically changed over time. But when Robyn Brown first entered the family in season 1, she brought 3 young children with her. At the time, Cristin Brown was primarily responsible for caring for the family's children. They already had 12, with Truly on the way. Another 3 children wouldn't have made much difference. However, Robyn seemed to strongly object to Cristin watching her kids. But why? Read on to see what other Sister Wives viewers think happened. Fans don't understand why Robyn Brown sheltered her children. In the early days of Sister Wives, each adult had their role. Cristin Brown seemed to thoroughly enjoy being the primary caregiver to the children. Now that they're adults, they all still seem to have strong relationships with Cristin. Why didn't Robyn want Cristin to watch her kids? A Sister Wives viewer asked on Reddit. Did I miss something? No one had a clear explanation, but several other Redditors brought up possible reasons. They included, Cristin would have had access to what was going on at Cody and Robyn's place if she watched the kids. She would know how often they spent time together and went out together. The kids might also spill secrets about Robyn and Cody too. A nanny allows for more privacy. No one knows. Robyn never answers a single damn question. Cristin confronted Robyn about the fact that she was hurt that Robyn did not ask her to help with her kids at all and told her she wanted to help. Robyn said, "Are you serious? Are we really doing this now?" and then said nothing and pretended to be an amnesia patient. Because if Cristin had been a mother to Robyn's kids like she was to Janelle's and Leon, they would have sided with Cristin during the conflict. Viewers think Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna are socially stunted. Dayton no longer appears on Sister Wives, but Aurora and Brianna have been spotted around Cody and Robyn's home. This season, they asked Robyn's permission to attend church and meet boys, even though they're in their 20s. To this day, many viewers believe that things might have been different if Cristin played a bigger role in raising Robyn's kids. But after all this time, there's little that can be done about it now. The tension in the air was palpable as Cristin Brown reflected on the many years she had spent as part of the Brown family. She sat at her new kitchen table, the Utah sun streaming through the window, a cup of tea growing cold in her hands. While Cristin had found love and happiness with David Woolley, certain memories from her plural marriage to Cody Brown still lingered, particularly those involving Robyn. Of all the Sister Wives, Robyn had always been an enigma. She entered the family with a soft voice and a promise of unity, but her actions often sowed division. For Cristin, one unresolved wound stood out: Robyn's refusal to let her watch her children. At the time, Cristin had chalked it up to overprotectiveness or a difference in parenting styles. But deep down, she always felt there was something more, something Robyn wasn't saying. And Cristin's instincts were rarely wrong. Meanwhile, in Flagstaff, Robyn was sorting through old photo albums in her meticulously organized living room. Her children's laughter echoed from the backyard, where Cody was playing an impromptu game of tag. As she flipped through the pages, Robyn paused at a photo of her and Cristin from the early days, both women smiling, holding trays of food at a family gathering. The sight of it made her chest tighten. "You okay?" Cody asked, walking in with a sheen of sweat on his forehead. Robyn nodded, closing the album. "Just reminiscing." Cody sat down beside her, glancing at the album. "Those were good times." Before, his voice trailed off, but Robyn knew what he meant. "Before it all fell apart," she finished. She hesitated, then added, "Do you think I was too hard on Cristin back then?" Cody leaned back, rubbing his temples. "Hard on her? Robyn, she's the one who left." Robyn's lips pressed into a thin line. Cody's tendency to see himself as the victim was nothing new, but it didn't erase her own feelings of guilt. She had her reasons for not letting Cristin babysit her kids, but she'd never shared them with anyone, not even Cody. The turning point came during a chance encounter. Cristin was visiting Flagstaff to attend Truly's school event, and she ran to Robyn at a local coffee shop. Their initial exchange was polite, but as they sat down to chat, the years of unspoken tension began to surface. "I've always wondered," Cristin began, her voice steady but laced with curiosity, "why you never trusted me with your kids." Robyn's eyes widened, and she looked away, stirring her coffee. "It wasn't about trust," she said finally. "Not entirely." Cristin raised an eyebrow. "Then what was it?" Robyn took a deep breath. "When I first joined the family, I was terrified. My kids had already been through so much with my divorce. They lost their sense of stability, their sense of family. And then, stepping into this dynamic where everything felt so chaotic, it was overwhelming. Cristin softened but stayed silent, letting Robyn continue. You were so confident, so capable with kids. Everyone looked to you as the fun mom, the one who made everything feel okay. But that made me feel inadequate, like I couldn't measure up. And the idea of handing over my kids to someone who was everything I wasn't, it scared me. Cristin's heart ached at Robyn's vulnerability, but she couldn't ignore the sting of those words. You thought I'd outshine you, she said softly. Robyn nodded, tears welling in her eyes. It wasn't fair to you, and I see that now. But back then, I was just trying to hold onto what little control I had left. Their conversation lingered in Cristin's mind long after she returned home. For years, she'd carried resentment toward Robyn, assuming the worst about her motives. Now, she saw a different side, a woman grappling with insecurities and a desperate need to protect her children. But understanding didn't erase the hurt. Cristin knew she'd have to process this revelation in her own time. She shared the encounter with David, who listened intently before pulling her into a comforting embrace. You're an amazing mom, he said, and anyone who's ever doubted that, it's their loss. Cristin smiled, her heart feeling lighter. She was no longer part of the Brown family, but she had built something beautiful in its place, a life filled with love, respect, and the freedom to be herself. Back in Flagstaff, Robyn watched as her children settled in for the night. She thought about her conversation with Cristin, wondering if she'd done enough to mend the bridge between them. For so long, she'd been trapped in her own fears, unable to see how they affected those around her. As she turned off the lights, Robyn made a silent vow to be better, not just for her kids, but for herself. The road to healing was long, but it was a journey she was finally ready to take. For both women, the past could not be changed. But in facing the truth and confronting their pain, they found a glimmer of hope, a chance to rewrite the narrative that had bound them for so long. And while their paths were separate now, they each carried the lessons of their shared history, determined to create brighter futures for their families.